Thousands of psychological studies get published every single year, and they are packed with these incredible insights into how our minds work. But let's be real, that research is usually super dense and pretty hard to get through. So today, we've done the heavy lifting for you. We've dug through all that science and pulled out 12 simple, powerful tools you can start using right now to make your life a whole lot easier.
We've all felt this, right? You're trying to figure out a tricky social situation, or you're trying to stay productive, or just manage your own feelings. And you're doing it all without a clear guide on how your own brain actually operates. It can be just so frustrating.
But what if that instruction manual does exist? What if it's just scattered across decades and decades of research? Well, that's what we're doing today. We've gathered all the most important pages and we're putting them right here, all in one place for you. So let's start with the outside world. How can we actually use psychology to improve our relationships and our day-to-day interactions with, well, pretty much everyone around us? This first one is called the chameleon effect, and its real power is just how subtle it is. Now, this isn't about being a copycat and mimicking every single move they make. No. Instead, maybe you noticed a word they use a lot, and you just gently weave it into your own sentences. Or, if they're leaning back with a relaxed posture, you can mirror that. On a subconscious level, they'll start to feel like you're on the same wavelength, that you just get them. It's an unbelievably fast way to build comfort and trust. Oh, this is a classic, and it works like a charm. You see, most people have this intense, almost primal need to fill a silence in a conversation. So after you ask a question and they give you their answer, just wait. Don't immediately jump in with a follow-up. Just hold their eye contact for an extra second. You'll be amazed. More often than not, they'll start talking again, and they'll give you way more detail than they originally planned to. Here is a seriously powerful one. Let people teach you something. So imagine you meet someone who's obsessed with cars. Now, even if you're an expert yourself, just ask them some questions. Let them explain something to you. What this does is it makes them feel confident and intelligent. They're going to walk away from that conversation feeling awesome, and they'll connect that positive feeling with you. And this quote just sums it all up perfectly, doesn't it? Being a great conversationalist isn't always about what you're saying. It's about what you hear. Listening is a tool for connection, sure, but it's also a tool for your own growth. Just think about it for a second. When someone remembers and actually uses your name, you feel seen. You feel important. It's a small thing, but it shows they're genuinely paying attention. Forgetting a name can feel like a tiny insult, right? So making that little effort to use someone's name here and there in a conversation, it's just such a simple way to make them feel valued and way more comfortable with you. Okay, this one might sound a little bit strange, but it's really rooted deep in our psychology. Eating is a calming, totally non-threatening activity. So if a conversation starts getting heated, try offering to share some food. The simple act of eating can subconsciously send a signal that there's no danger, which can help bring down aggression and just diffuse the tension in the room. This is such a fascinating phenomenon. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. So what psychologists found is that highly intelligent people often underestimate their own abilities, mainly because they're so aware of how much they don't know. But on the flip side, people with less ability often think they're absolute geniuses because they literally can't recognize their own shortcomings. So if someone is constantly bragging about how smart they are, well, they might just be proving the opposite. All right, so we've looked at how we interact with others. Now, let's turn that lens inward and see how we can use these little psychological hacks to manage our own minds, our moods, and even our productivity. Ever noticed how the music you're listening to can change the entire vibe of your day? Well, it's not just in your head. A study back in 2011 showed that music literally changes how we see the world. When people listened to happy music, they were much more likely to see happy faces in otherwise neutral expressions. And when they listened to sad music, you guessed it, they saw sad faces. Your personal soundtrack is truly shaping your reality. Feeling nervous before a big presentation, or maybe you're driving to a stressful meeting, just turn on your favorite song and sing along. Really belt it out. The physical act of singing actually releases oxytocin. That's the feel-good hormone, and it rapidly lowers your stress levels, your heart rate, and cortisol.
It's a surprisingly effective and super fast anxiety killer.
So many of us pride ourselves on being great multitaskers. But I gotta tell you, psychological research is crystal clear. When it comes to complex tasks, multitasking is a total myth. Your brain can't truly focus on writing an important email and listening in on a meeting at the same time. What it's actually doing is task switching. It's frantically jumping back and forth between the two, and you lose time and focus with every single switch. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. We can all walk and talk at the same time, right? That's because walking is an automatic process for most of us. But trying to read a book and watch TV, both of those things require the same focused part of your brain. So your brain has to choose one or the other, millisecond by millisecond. Oh, this is such a simple one, but it's incredibly powerful. Sunlight helps our bodies produce vitamin D, which actually acts as a mood stabilizer. Plus, it boosts the release of these pleasurable hormones in the brain. Just stepping outside for 10 minutes, especially in the morning, can have a huge positive impact on your mental health. Okay, for our final section, let's look at the big stuff, the foundational rules that really govern how we see things, how we can influence outcomes, and how we actually make changes that stick. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds kind of manipulative, doesn't it? But really, it's all about understanding human nature so you can create situations where everybody wins. So instead of giving a direct command, which can immediately trigger resistance, you offer a choice between two options that are both totally acceptable to you, whether it's with your kids, your partner, or even at work. This technique gives the other person a sense of control and autonomy. They feel like they made the decision, which makes them much more likely to follow through, and happily. You've probably heard it a million times. It takes 21 days to form a new habit. Well, I hate to break it to you, but according to newer research, that's pretty much a myth. The real average is closer to 66 days. And just knowing this is so important because it helps you set a realistic expectation so you don't give up too early. This timeline really breaks down that journey. That first phase, about 3 weeks, it feels unnatural. It requires maximum effort. The next 3 weeks, that's the real test. That's when you'll really want to quit. But if you can just push through to that final phase, the habit starts to become automatic. It actually becomes easier to do it than to skip it. So, there you have it. Let's do a quick recap of your new toolkit. These are simple, science-backed strategies to help you connect better, master your own mind, and build a better life, one good habit at a time. You know, learning all this stuff is one thing, but actually applying it, that's where the magic really happens. So think about it. Which one of these tools are you going to test out today?